Well, the episode started with the reveal of one of the most predictable cliffhangers the show's ever left on, and ends with one of the wildest travel councils I've ever seen. The Survivor Dude, and boy, what was that? I mean, wow, that was an episode. It felt like, where the other one felt like it was half an episode, this one was like, I have a hard time wrapping my head around what just happened. I don't know, it's just the amount of craziness that went on in this episode was out of this world. Because, like, okay, so first we got Sydney going. I did not see that happening because, like, I've been praising Sydney every episode so far, and I was like, why are they giving Sydney so much screen time as opposed to, like, Heather or, Erica? I mean, Erica, until this last week, barely got any screen time, and after she got back from the Exile Island, she still barely got any screen time. So it was like, once her part of it was over, it went back to, okay, we're ignoring you again. But Sydney going out here, I mean, we were, no matter which way it went, we were bound to lose one of our big characters here. We were going to lose either Evie, or we were going to lose Deshawn, or we were going to lose Sydney. And I thought for a hot second that we were going to lose Deshawn, because there was a lot of complicated stuff going on with the idols here. Okay, let's see if we can break it down. Xander finds out that the knowledge of power advantage is in Liana's possession. He basically then says, okay, well, we gotta do a ploy to get her to use it on me. Or, well, okay, it's a little complicated, but they make a fake idol, and he plays off like, yeah, I'm playing this idol tonight. Evie's not going home. It's all good. And then she tries to take it from him, but he doesn't have it because they gave it to Tiffany. And that was smart. I said that you either think that he's bluffing and Evie has it, or you think that he's not bluffing and you think Xander has it. Tiffany was the smartest person to give that to. And then it just went crazy from there. So let's see if I got everything straight. First, we have the extra vote played, and finally, in a way that I think carried the day. Because every single time the extra vote has been played, or the steal vote has been played, I've always been like, has that even been necessary? Even when Sarah stole Michaela's vote and voted her off, I didn't think, it was like, was that necessary? Didn't you have the votes before? But this was necessary in order for Deshawn to fully make himself safe. I do find it funny that he got his extra vote for Evie, or that he got from Evie, basically that Evie gifted to him on the night of the tribal council that he's trying to vote her off. That was nuts. That was insane. So we got... And I don't know where everybody thought the numbers were coming from, because a lot of people were like, no, we're good. And then the other side was like, no, I think we're good. And it's just like, I don't know what, like, look, Xander was all over the map tonight, because there was a moment where he's like, hey guys, I have the idol. And I thought, oh, an idiot. Then I thought, oh, wait a minute. This is smart, because then they're going to get Liana to play, like, he's going to pretend he doesn't know about Liana's advantage, and they're going to get her to play the advantage against him. So I thought, okay, that's smart. But then he said, hey, I know about Liana's advantage. I'm like, well, now you're dumb again. But then they were able to work with that and have him make a fake idol. I don't think we've seen him make before. That flashback, I think, was the first time we've seen that. So, hey, that was interesting. And so he is able to duke her out, but then actually still hangs on to his idol, and Sydney ends up going home. So here's the way I see the game right now. We have a solid 3 alliance of Xander, Tiffany, and Evie. We have a solid 4 alliance of Shan, Liana, Deshawn, and Danny. And that leaves everyone else in the middle. Ricard's probably more with Shan, so let's put Ricard on that side. We got Heather and Erica, and Nasir, who I think are basically, they're not necessarily aligned together, but I think they could align together and carry the day, because that would leave 5 on this side, 4 on this side. Those 3 would carry the day. Or, oh wait, I guess it'd be 5 on this side, 3 on this side. Yeah, those 3 votes would carry the day. The Erica, Heather, Naseer grouping, that pair will, whichever way they go next episode, is going to be the ones that come away with a win. And Naseer has a connection with Xander. And here's the thing, for Erica and Naseer this episode, I think they were actually in a pretty good spot not to have to do anything. You know, it probably wouldn't have been a good idea to vote for Deshaun, because what if, you know, somebody plays an idol on him, or he has his extra vote and he has enough. You know, without a coordinated attack at that point, you would have been throwing shots in the dark, and not literally the shot in the dark, but you would just be throwing it out there. And I think the person that they would have been protecting, it's not like Erica and Sydney were really aligned. I mean, Erica was trying to get rid of Sydney earlier, and Heather was also trying to get rid of Sydney in the secret scenes from what we have seen. So it's not like it was, and Sydney also tried to go after Naseer. So those 3 sacrificing Sydney, it's not like they're sacrificing someone who they really desperately need to protect. You go against them, then keep yourself safe. And then, well, obviously they were safe. None of them were eligible to be voted off, except for Naseer. But I don't know. I think that these guys, I don't know why they didn't target Naseer. Because here's what I would have done. I would have been like, okay, Liana, the safest thing to do right now is to take Naseer's idol and vote him out. That would be one vote they didn't see coming. But I think they're so afraid of the women running the game that they're afraid of that happening. And now we're in a part where we got our 3 forefront characters, and in the crossover we got, because I believe like the main character from every tribe that we've seen so far has been Evie, Shan, and Deshaun. Those have been the 3 characters. Now Deshaun and Shan are aligned, but we also have this Liana thing, because Liana's been given a lot of focus too on the Yellow Tribe. Man, it's just, there's a lot of places that all the characters could go. I'm worried about this Black Alliance because while they are together and they are, you know, working together, I'm worried that everyone's going to see that eventually. And, you know, there's only 4 of them. There's a lot of people left in the game. And I feel like Liana and Shan are eventually going to have to flip on Danny and Deshaun to avoid themselves from being voted out. I don't see anyone that has the power to necessarily power through this all the way to the end, unless like Heather is just really, really bad at Survivor and will just do whatever Deshaun and Danny tell her to do. So who's going next? I don't know. From the way the next episode looks like, everyone's gunning for everyone. And I wonder what that will mean going forward. You know, are Liana and Evie able to patch things up down the road because they know that, hey, you know, we gotta stick together, otherwise they're gonna come after us. I don't know. I'm wondering how good is Shan that she's able to convince that Evie is a bigger threat than her, because I don't see it. I don't see that right now. I think that Evie is just a bigger threat, bigger contender for sure, but I don't know what's going on, man. This is just nuts. It really will depend on where Erica and Naseer and Heather, if they're able to stick together, if that group is able to stick together and vote a certain way, that's going to be the deciding factor here. Because I wonder if, like, you know, next episode, Evie's like, Evie is like, hey, girls, see if the guys want to get rid of a guy next. See if you can push for Xander and see if they'll go for that. And if they don't, I wonder if they're like, maybe we shouldn't put all of our trust in these 2 guys. I don't know. They seem to be a pretty loyal group right now, the way they're hyping each other up. But I don't know if they're going to be able to stick together, just because a 4 together is an alliance that isn't a controlling of the whole numbers, but is also could be very dangerous. I'm actually interested in what's going on with Ricard and Erica, because we only really saw one scene with them talking, and I think that Ricard is looking for a new number 1, and I think that after this vote, I don't think Erica is going to be the next on the chopping block. I think that after what happened at Tribal Council, Erica is going to be able to slip under the radar again, and I wonder if Ricard's going to want to go under the radar with her, waiting for a time to strike. Predicting what's going to happen next is absolutely insane. So I'm not going to predict what's... okay, if I'm going to have to make a pick on who I think is probably going to go home next, I'm going to say Tiffany, because I feel like that's going to be the safest vote going forward, was going to be Tiffany. And we'll see what happens after that. You know, I wonder... I don't like, because everybody will have a different agenda. I've heard in the preview, I saw Heather's name brought up, and I'm sure somebody wants to get rid of Heather because she could be a goat to the end. That's possible. Or I heard everybody's name brought up, so I don't even really have a clue. And with the way the numbers are set right now, it's really unpredictable of what could happen. Okay, so we've had a few advantages used. So right now, the advantage counter, we have Xander was still an idol and still an extra vote. We got Deshawn no longer has his extra vote. It's been used. Shan still has her extra vote and her idol. And Nasir has an idol. That right now, this episode used up a lot of advantages. So we have one extra vote down, I will say this. I think a lot of people are going to be relieved that Xander and Evie were able to duke out Liana for the... knowledge is power advantage, because it is an interesting thing, because if you have that power, the idol can still be shifted to other players. So yeah, it's going to be insane to see what's going to happen with this, if they bring this advantage back, and if they do. I've been a proponent. I don't think the knowledge of power advantage is like the game breaker that everyone's saying it is. But I will say that it is very powerful in this season, where everyone basically has to announce that they have the idol, and once one person knows what one person, the whole code word thing is, they know where all the idols are hidden, not just your allies. And so that I don't like. I think on a regular season with just regular hidden immunity idols, I think the knowledge of power advantage would actually be pretty interesting to use, and to see if you could steal from one another. And so, it would keep people from keeping their idols a secret a lot more, especially if they knew that was an advantage going into the game. For MVP of the episode, I had to think long and hard about this. Because on the one hand, Xander's bluff, it saved Evie in the game. He was able to bluff out Liana, and held his cool in order to not play his idol, and his ally didn't go home. Someone's ally from the Blue Tribes went home. So while he's not necessarily in a power position, Sydney wasn't exactly his ride or die, so it doesn't really feel like it works against him. On the other hand, I feel like Deshawn getting them to regroup again and split the votes in order to make sure, and use his extra vote correctly in order to make sure that Sydney went home. That is also good gameplay. I also think that was a crazy thing. And look, say what you will about the time travel advantage, I don't really think it's great either. But I will say this would definitely have not happened if everybody was eligible for elimination from the start of the episode. I think that limiting who is eligible for the merge vote is actually something that's guaranteed to cause chaos. Because it did. Only half the people was able to be voted for. As I say, I don't think they should do it. The whole thing is like, and we didn't lose immunity. I don't think that should be the case. But I like the idea of only half of the whole players in the game being eligible at one tribal council, but everyone being able to vote. That adds a whole lot of messiness and craziness to the game. And so I would be interested in seeing that in the game moving forward. Maybe if it was just cleaner, whoever won the immunity challenge just, goes, the other 6 players go to tribal council. Yeah, that's gonna be nuts. But I'm gonna give MVP of the episode. I'm gonna give it to Deshawn, because I think, when it comes down to it, who got their way this episode? Xander was trying to vote out Deshawn. Deshaun was trying to vote out Sydney. Deshaun voted out Sydney. I was still surprised that he did. I thought for sure they were tight with Sydney. But it is what it is, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Especially just since it's so weird because Deshaun was like, hey, I'm voting out, I'm throwing a challenge to vote out Erica because Sydney, I'm just surprised he voted out Sydney over Nasir. Because if I knew what Liana's advantage is, I'm like, oh, well then just steal Nasir's idol and we'll vote out Nasir. That's the safest thing to do. But he didn't do that, and yeah. But I'm going to give it to Deshaun just because quick thinking, using his extra vote correctly, I think that he deserves the MVP. First one to a guy this month. No, I gave one to Ricard. Never mind. First one from Luvu to get it. So I'm going to give that to Deshaun. And it's going to be crazy to see what's going to happen next. I can't wait. So until then, thanks for watching, everybody. I'm the Survivor Dude. See you later.